All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Keen here to recap Week 9 of the 2014 college football season. Another amazing week for you guys, and I'm going to kick things off with the game of the week. A then number 3 Ole Miss loses at Death Valley to number 24 LSU. 10-7. Now let's start things off with LSU. They did a great job on both sides of the field, holding the Ole Miss to just 7 points defensively, and they on the offensive side, they got things going, running the football, particularly in that fourth quarter. 264 rushing yards in this matchup, and their leading rusher is true freshman Leonard Fournette. He actually had 113 yards rushing on 23 carries. But the big name was on that last drive with Kenny Hilliard piling his way for 47 yards, and Fournette did have a big 20-plus yard run in that fourth quarter in that final drive to help catapult the LSU Tigers to the 3-point victory. Now heading over for Ole Miss, they did a terrible job offensively. Their defense did a great job despite the fact that they did have 264 yards rushing yards on them, but they still did a great job helping forcing LSU to commit 4 turnovers, in which on the Ole Miss Rebel offense did not capitalize on that. And this was part of the biggest thing that shocked me in this matchup. 4 turnovers and you still don't score much on the offensive side. Actually, their first touchdown in the game was late in the first quarter, and then the LSU defense just shut Ole Miss out for the remainder of the game. And despite the fact that LSU had 4 turnovers in that matchup, for their offense to not prevail and take advantage of those turnovers, that's pretty much sums things up for Ole Miss in that particular matchup. I think that Ole Miss should have definitely won this game, but offensively flopped in this one, and I have to blame the offensive side. Bo Wallace had 176 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and that was in the final seconds of the game, and that was the only turnover for Ole Miss in this matchup. And this was a big shocker for me. I actually had Ole Miss winning this game, remaining undefeated. But now, the front runner of the SEC all belongs to number 1 Mississippi State, leading the SEC West. Now, they still have plenty of games left. They have Arkansas, UT Martin, and a couple weeks from now, and in a couple weeks, a week after that, they're going to have to face number 3 Alabama. That is going to be a major game. I think that game will be the game of the week. We still have plenty of season left, but anything can change. Now, let's talk about the remaining matches that I talked about that you guys should watch this week. Miami trounced Virginia Tech 30-6. They did not shut out Virginia Tech, so kudos for the Hokies, but I still pulled off the good victory. Boise State pretty much spanked on BYU 55-30. That was the game I did call correctly. Oregon beat Cal in a good shootout matchup, 59-41. Now, we all know what Cal needs to do. They need to address the defensive side in the recruiting and to improve defensively, and I think they're probably going to have to need a new coordinator. My Texas Longhorns, I went with my Longhorns as my upset game of the week over Kansas State at Kansas State, but Kansas State ended up blanking them 23-0. Another big performance by running back Amir Abdullah for his 4th 200-yard performance, 225 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it's 42-24 victory over a then one-loss record team. And I think that my man Abdullah is the front runner for the Doak Walker Award given to the nation's top premier running back. UNC edged out on Virginia 28-27, a close game. I went with Virginia in this one, but they pulled a loss. A big 52-7 victory for Wisconsin over Maryland. That was an easy pick for me. Mississippi State kind of had a little bit of a scare against Kentucky, but they pulled off the 45-31 victory. This was another pick I had no problem picking. Mississippi State over Michigan, in which they did win 35-11. Michigan has been very disappointed in the Big Ten Conference, in my opinion. Probably the most disappointing team in Big Ten play. Georgia actually bounced back from back-to-back ACC losses by beating Pittsburgh 56-28. Now, this means for the Coastal Division for the ACC Conference, Duke actually is in the driver's seat. They lead the Coastal Division, and this week they're going to play against Pittsburgh, and I'm going to talk about that matchup and give you my prediction. But Duke actually controls their own destiny, and they're on the driver's seat of possibly having a rematch against number 2 Florida State in the ACC Championship. Auburn, I'm headed over back to the SEC Conference. Auburn beat South Carolina 42-35. That was a close game, but Auburn quarterback Nick Marshall pulled off a 9-yard score in the fourth quarter to help pull off the good the 7-point victory. Ohio State had a double overtime thriller against unranked Penn State, 31-24. This was a little bit of a scare. Quarterback Christian Hackenberg is still dealing with a sophomore slump, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, but they were still actually having Ohio State on the ropes in this matchup, but Ohio State pulled things away in double overtime. USC actually loses to Utah 24-21 due to a last-second pass from quarterback Travis Wilson of the Utes. He only had 194 yards passing and that 1 touchdown at the end of the game to help have the Utes to a 3-point victory, 24-21. And sticking with the Pac-12, Arizona State edged out Washington 24-10. They're still in the hunt for the Pac-12 championship, representing coming out of the South Division, and they control their own destiny with that one. I think they could make it to the Pac-12 championship. I probably have them against Oregon, representing the North Division. Now everything kind of messed things up so far this season. Going towards in the rankings, the new number 1 is still Mississippi State. Florida State still ranked at number 2. Alabama, as I mentioned earlier, they're at number 3. And actually at number 5 is Oregon. Oregon is now ranked at number 5, cracking the top 5. This is a good team, and we still have plenty of season left. Now, the one team that everybody has their eyes on is Mississippi State. They control their own destiny, but they still have a couple of key matches like Alabama, even Arkansas. Arkansas came close to Alabama and Texas A&M, despite the fact that they lost all their SEC matchups. They still had a couple of close fights against a good Texas A&M team and Alabama. So this could be a good upset alert for Mississippi State. They should not look at this game as a breeze. They still have a couple weeks left before they play Alabama, and that's going to possibly be my game of the week for week 11 of that season. But I'm still week 12 of this season, but it's going to be a very exciting year, and I'm still going to stick with my playoff: Alabama, Ole Miss, Oregon, and Florida State to represent the playoff. But anything can happen. It's still a little bit. I still have a little bit of hopes for Mississippi State, but I still think they're possibly going to lose to Alabama and Ole Miss coming towards the end of the season, ruining their year. But anything can happen. But we will see. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys will be this Thursday, where I will talk about week 10 of this season, giving you my key matches and predictions. Thank you for watching today's blog from the Football Source. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.